So you touched on Ovi there. I mean, just a freaking cyborg. 2 goals in the 2 first games back, coming off the broken leg. How overjoyed and happy is he that he's back on the ice now? Because we kept seeing stories over the month plus that he was out where obviously he was still with the team. He was in the locker room there with you guys. And it sounded like he was just popping his head in wherever he could to still feel connected with the team. He's got to just be super pumped to be back out on the ice doing obviously what he loves.
Yeah, I mean, I think, he isn't, a lot of people probably don't realize it, but over his 19 seasons, I believe it is now, I don't know, maybe 20, I don't want to cut him short, but I mean, he hasn't missed a lot of time. So I think this was one of his biggest, injuries that he missed time with. So to keep him away from the game, I think is, he was pretty, I think he was pretty upset about that initially. And then also, he was pretty hot when he got hurt. And I think, obviously, we're winning, we're playing really well. He was contributing a lot. We have the goal chase going on. And, so there's no avoiding that. But it was great to see him kind of join the club again. And not only that, but just but continue kind of pick up right where he left off.
Let me give a quick golf clap to the 2 young centers, Mikey and Pro, both tied with 16 goals. I mean, the contribution offensively those guys are giving has been huge for the Caps this season.
Yeah, they've been great. I mean, we've chatted about that already, where you guys have asked, what's the? I see the baby, Ruby. Yes. I see him. Let's go. We've chatted. You guys have asked me, why is the success this year? What's different? And I kind of touched on that. Was one of the big things we've had young guys that have stepped into big roles and played really, really well. And those 2, among others, are a big reason why we've had so much success. I think our entire team has played well, and our goalies. I think everything's been going well for us. But you have 2 guys combined for 30-plus goals, that's going to make a big difference, right? Because regular season, it's all about winning hockey games. So it's been great to watch, and I hope they keep running at this clip, because it's obviously great for them. It's great for us. So
we had Coach Carberry on a couple days ago, and we were talking about kind of the last few weeks, kind of bigger picture, and he said that he felt like the team has fallen into a little bit of a lull. Now, this is before you guys win the game against the Bruins. How do you feel how the team has played? Because you started off very hot, and then maybe slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's inevitable. I think what's important is you recognize that. You don't got to beat anybody up about it, because we're still a good hockey team. We're going to find ways to win games. Is it going to look like it did, the first 10 games of the season? Maybe not, but that's okay too. I think just what's important is to realize, where have we taken a step backwards, and how do we fix that? Because the whole season is like a learning process, right? There's things that happen every single game individually where you're like, oh wow, I didn't anticipate that happening. I need to kind of earmark that and make sure that doesn't happen again. And then there's things that happen as a team where you're like, okay, we got to learn from that and try and move on. And it stings a little bit, but that's a good learning experience that you can use later in the regular season, and then trying to push for playoffs. So you're never going to play. We got 82 games, right? We're never going to play a 60-minute full 82 games the whole season. Nobody is. We'd love to, right? That's the goal, and that's why Carbs is good at pointing things out, hey, we need to get better at this, and we've taken a step backwards in this category, and here are the numbers from the first 10 games versus the last 10 games. But it's also good to point out the positive stuff too, right? I think that's Carbs does a good job of that. There's a good balance, but yeah, is there a little bit of a lull? Maybe. I'm not going to call it that. I'm out there playing games. I feel like we're still working really hard. Guys are still competing, which is what's important. I think you have that lack of compete. You're not going to win a lot of hockey games, regardless of how great your systems are, how great your team is. So I still feel like guys are working really hard. So I think we got the right. We have the right process.